There's five guys that have been slated to come in. Moore, Pendle, Sidey, Bobby, Lockie Schultz.
Yeah, all good to go, and we're excited for that. And we stand here with a great performance on the weekend through guys coming and doing the job, and then the excitement is that you wake up in the morning with some really important magnets ready to come back.
Does it concern you at all? At least maybe a quarter of the team changing, just in terms of the balance week to week.
Yeah, and that could be a cost, but the reward is that we got experience around some roles that we really rate, and we got a coach connection every week. It's not something that you just take for granted. Team chemistry is really important to us.
How hard are some of those calls going to be on guys that have been performing really well?
Yeah, I think there's a reality that some would know that. Not so much last in first out. That doesn't work like that. But I think we want to keep rewarding behaviour around here, and guys playing really well at VFL level, like Will Parker has been doing that and got his chance and showed that he's more than capable of playing at the level. Those conversations are always difficult, but again, you're having many of them on the way.
How's Bobby going, Craig?
Yeah, I won't go into the details. He wasn't here yesterday. It was good to see him around the place today and train well and moving some stuff that he needed to move. So, delicate situation, but we're wrapped to have him back at the club.
You know already that he'll be available to play?
Yeah, he's fit and available to play, yep.
How important is Lockie Schultz to this team? He's obviously missed the last couple of weeks, but how important is he?
Yeah, he's sort of having a career best year for us, and then goes out with a hamstring and then gets concussion and is going back when he was having a really big impact. He's a barometer for our pressure. He has been for the last 12 months, and we're not expecting him to go out and be our best player. That's unrealistic. We just want him to play his role and show everyone all his toughness that he brings every week.
With Sidey and Pendle's coming back into the side, does Ned Long maybe get a little less centre bounce attendances, or is his role going to stay the same?
I wouldn't have thought so. I think we've got a good balance there at the moment. I think Ned's sort of proving to be very valuable in the centre bounces, but among other things, his pressure's elite, and these scoring volumes last week were off the chart. So I wouldn't have thought he'd get any less mid-time. Just
on Ned, is he fired up to come up against the old side that delisted him, and particularly in the form that he's in at the moment?
No, I think it's a good example though that someone else doesn't quite fit into their system. We shouldn't be ready to go, he can't play AFL footy anymore, and I think the industry's got a bit of that. Like he's sacked from two clubs for a reason, or one club for a reason. I just don't like that mentality, and Ned's a great example for those that haven't quite got their chances somewhere else, and we put our arms around them and give them an opportunity.
They made a bit of a mess of you, Craig, last year. Was there something in their game that worried you particularly?
Last year was really wet, and we didn't play the conditions really well, and they beat us in pretty much every facet of the game. Last time, the year before, we played them as well, and they had some threats. We've got no doubt that we're going to have to bring our best game in certain areas, and they're a really dangerous team. Yeah.
Sorry, Fly, they really came after Nick Dacos both times in those games. Are you expecting that again on Friday night?
Yeah, we anticipate that McGuinness would go to him. Last time they played him as a sub, and he didn't come on until when the game was all over. But I think they played him as a sub last time. We anticipate that may happen again, whether he starts as a sub.
Maynard, can you just give us a bit of an update?
Yeah, it's actually, he got an injury that potentially helps him. He's had this plantar fascia thing that's been grumbling for a long time, over 12 months, and he's pretty much snapped all that now, so then he's pain-free. He's got a little bit of scar tissue that may require a week to rest, maybe two at max, and just chatting to him yesterday, can't believe the difference in his pain. So as much as it's not having for a week or so, it's potentially bad for the team. It's going to be good for long term.
So he's effectively done the Robert Harvey out on the field.
Yeah, I heard that story. I was here with Banger, and he told me about that story. He just jumped off a table and snapped it, and heard another story. Another guy tried to do it and broke his leg. So no, we're happy with where we're at with that.
Just on the plantar fasciitis, I think you've had 4 guys through the pre-season and the season that have had it. I think it's it's pretty abnormal for 4 in one club. Do you consider that maybe is the ground a bit too tough? Is there something that's happening?
Pick up. We've we're well aware of that, and apparently it's an industry issue as well, because our research, high performance team tells us that, and we've got a person in we're doing great jobs. We're scanning things. We're doing things that we haven't done before. It is an issue. Maybe it's footwear. Maybe it's the boots are really light now. We love our Nike boots, but maybe they're not all comfortable where they need to be. So we're in a process of trying to make sure that's not an issue.
You just said it's sort of an industry thing, so you've noticed that that's been a thing across other clubs and in the game?
Again, I can't speak for other clubs, but our high performance team, getting feedback from other clubs, it's a similar thing. Whether it's at our level, I'm not sure, but it's something we're definitely working through.
You've got the extra spot in the mid-season draft, I saw, Craig. So you committed to taking 2 players, and have you got a sort of a recruiting direction that you want to take into the draft?
Yeah, we got a deliberate plan to potentially take 2 picks. We've got 2 spots available. I'm not sure we're going to take both of those. We'll just wait and see what's available for us. We've got some areas of need, and I think that there's some talent out there. There's some mature talent and some potential youth that we can get on our list that we're excited for.
There's been reports about Archer May over in WA that he might be a player that the club's looking at, and he's been mentored by Dermot Brereton as well.
Yeah, I went and watched him play last year down at Williamstown one game, and he certainly improved on what I saw last year. He's one of the names that's come up. I've seen some great footage of him. He's doing some good things, but amongst others as well. I'm a big advocate for the mid-season draft and also for the trade. Like I say it every year, and I think there's opportunities out there for the competition to keep growing. And you look at Essendon, don't have key forwards or keys at the moment. They could benefit from a trade period where someone at another club potentially is not getting a game. And I think the AFL continue to I keep bringing it up every year. Hopefully we can make some progression there.
Is that something you'll bring up with the AFL if you haven't already met with them?
Yeah, I'll have breakfast in a couple of weeks. I think I'll bring it up, but it's not something that I haven't brought up before. And again, I don't need to be the spokesperson for all of this. I think the game will benefit from that, and individuals and things as well.
In this situation, Craig, when you guys are towards the top end of the ladder, if there was a mid-season trade, you'd be targeting, players that could help you, senior players come straight in.
Well, it's all of that. And like we might be able to improve our draft hand because someone from another club might want one of our players, and so there's all different layers to it. But again, I think it'll create an urgency and energy for teams, maybe potentially aren't fighting at the top of the ladder, or fans will like it. I guess gives you more stories to talk about. Hopefully not too far away.
So Oleg didn't get a chance to work on the DIY because he had to play on Saturday. So you putting your hand up to help out and the players going to come around?
I'm not very handy, but I'll just make sure I mention we're sponsored by Bowens and make sure that's heard. Yeah.
Dan McStay looked pretty good out there today. Is King's birthday the aim for him, or is he smoky for Friday?
Yeah, we're progressing towards hopefully next week. We've got a bigger break after this game. We've had a 6-day break into a longer one, and he's going to be really touch and go for that game next week, and we're excited for that. He's a fast healer, he is, and it's a good thing to have when you get injured a bit. So, progressing well.
And just Jamie Elliott, I mean, I think the most goals he's kicked in a season in the past has been 39. He's got 28 to round 11. Have you changed his role at all this year? Has he been more of a target, or what sort of led to this?
Well, there's a few different parts. I think we're moving the ball better than we have. I think Jamie's clearly jumping the ball well and looking really dangerous around goal, and he's got some consistency in his training. He hasn't missed too many sessions in recent times, so there's a lot of moving parts to that, but he's certainly at the top of his game.
Do you think that having the triple M's or whatever the nickname is, I know that McStay's been out, but Cox has come in, having those tools in there now that maybe you haven't previously had allows him to play as a small instead of a tall?
Well, again, if you go back in time and look at some of the teams we played, the players we played with last year, the team we picked, we had games where we didn't have tools. We didn't have Myercheck, Cox, and clearly didn't have Membry. So we had Shooter and then Will Hoskin-Elliott and Jamie playing a bit in different roles. So it's nice to get players that we can play their role, and then Jamie can go back to his place where he's so damaging.
It all helps, doesn't it? What more do you want to see from Tom Mitchell?
I went and watched the VFL on Sunday. It was a tough game. You're taking players out last minute. There's a ripple effect for that. I think Tom's. I'm going to have a chat to him this afternoon about where he thinks he's at, but I think he's a couple of weeks away at least.